Happy Marvel Monday! Today I'm going to be talking about my 5 least favorite Marvel Legends figures. I was tagged to make this video by a friend whose channel is Deadpool3416, where he talks about gaming, Marvel Legends collecting, and goes on toy hunts. So I really enjoy the majority of my figures, but I've pulled aside my least favorites. I guess you could say the least of my least favorites is Constrictor. It's really strange to me that Constrictor made this list at all, because I really like his character ever since I read about him in Avengers: The Initiative. While I think the colors of Constrictor's costume really pop, his figure's biggest problem is that Hasbro really failed to capture the essence of his coils. His coils should convey a sense of menace that really makes your superhero realize that he or she needs to do everything they can to avoid getting wrapped up in them. Instead, we get these limp, rubbery noodles hanging down from his wrist. If Constrictor showed up for a fight with these, he'd get laughed at by the heroes, his allies, and ordinary civilians. The coils annoyed me enough that I ended up making my own interchangeable ones. If you want to learn how to make your own bendable coils, check out my Constrictor coils video on my Crafting for Action Figures playlist. Number 4. Bulldozer. Bulldozer is on an oversized and outdated body, but that's not the reason he made my list. I purchased Bulldozer to complete my Ultron Build-A-Figure, but I do think he's a neat figure with the metal-looking overlays and that helmet. Bulldozer's problem, though, is one of association. You see, in the comics, he is usually found hanging out with his buddies in the Wrecking Crew. Hasbro made the other 3 members of the Wrecking Crew years ago, but for some reason, they held off on Bulldozer. It's awesome that Hasbro made Bulldozer to finish the team for people who have been collecting for a while, but for new collectors like me, Bulldozer just reminds me of how expensive his friends are on the secondary market. And that's especially annoying with some of the team members appearing in more recent comics, like Thunderball in Hood's Illuminati and Wrecker in the Avengers. Number 3. All-Father Wave Thor. I really wish I could clearly identify what it is about this Thor that makes me dislike him, but I think it's just the sum of several small issues. I initially thought this Thor was really neat looking when I saw him online, but when I got him in person and started moving him around, my opinion rapidly changed. First off, he's huge. He doesn't look this big in the comics, and from what I found online, Thor's supposed to be 6'6". Second, he's on an older body with no ankle rocker, ball hips, no neck hinge, and single hinged elbows. And finally, there's just something off about his face. Except for the nose, the features on his face are just kinda smushed, so it looks like he took too many blows to the head. It also looks like his neck is as wide as his head. This guy just pales in comparison to the movie Thor from the Amazon 4-pack. Number 2. Fantamix. Fantamix is an older figure that I managed to track down, still in his packaging, at a decent price. I like the black and white contrast of his costume, but when I opened his figure, I noticed he has some problems. I knew he was on an older body, but those flat flipper feet surprised me. The poor guy has had his toes crushed. Then his hands don't hold the guns he came with very well. I ended up having to use rubber bands to keep them in place for a while because they just kept falling out. The biggest issue for me, though, is my figure is having some staining issues. I really hope this is limited to my figure, but my Fantamix's trench coat is turning pink from where it was in contact with the plastic of the packaging. And then I noticed the trench coat is also pink in the inside areas where it has touched the black holsters. And then underneath the holsters, you can see that the thighs are stained pink from where the holsters rested against him. This guy is not aging gracefully. Now for my least favorite figure, the White Vision from the Target 3-pack. So this Vision's costume is not very visually interesting, but that's not why he made the top of my list. Instead, the real reason is because the clear plastic he is made out of is absolute garbage. The first time I tried to move Vision's right leg, the plastic on his upper thigh cracked in the back, and the leg fell off. Here you could see where it is cracked. And I was being really gentle with moving him too, because I had read there's some problems with the brittle plastic he's made out of. I got his leg back on, but now I'm afraid to move him at all and break him worse. So Vision has become an action figure that has no action at all. This guy should have never made it through quality control with the plastic in this condition. Now I'm interested in hearing what your least favorite Marvel Legends figures are in the comments down below. I'm also going to tag a few friends to make a response video on their least favorite figures. First, I'm going to tag JCC2224, who reviews quite a bit of Star Wars toys, but I know you have some Marvel Legends too. So let's see how long it takes for someone to yell at you again in your comments section for being too picky. It's all good though, because I'm sure I'm going to get yelled at too for my choices in this video. Next, I'm tagging Gavin Reyes. Gavin was one of my first 100 subscribers, and his channel focuses on Marvel Legends reviews. The third person I'm tagging is Mr. Cranberry Saucer. He's another one of my really early subscribers that has given me a lot of encouragement, and his channel focuses on stop-motion animation and reviews. Next is YouTubing buddy Booyakasha Creations, and his channel shows off his stop-motion skills with Marvel and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle adventures. The fifth person I'm tagging is Spider Chief, and lately he's been working on Marvel stop motion on his channel. The last person I'm tagging is Mando Commando. Mando's channel showcases his Marvel action figure collection along with unboxings and hauls. So if any of those channels sound interesting, feel free to check them out, along with Deadpool 3416's channel. Links to their channels are in the video description. And before you go, feel free to check out some of the other content here on the Zubbie channel, including toy reviews, toy crafts, and toy hunts. Thanks for watching.